Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video we have a review of Sirui's new addition to their Sniper series of f1.2 lenses. We have the 16mm f1.2 and the 75mm f1.2, and these are some great additions to your kit for visual storytelling, whether that's photography or video. Let's deep dive into the specs and see some photo and video of these lenses, and let's hop right into it. So the 16 and 75mm f1.2 complement Sirui's other lenses in the Sniper series, which are now the 16, the 23, the 33, the 56, and now the 75. Remember, these are APS-C crop lenses, so on your full frame camera there will be just a little bit of a crop, and we will talk about that in the individual lens section coming up shortly. But I think these were a critical update for the wide end and the telephoto end of the series. Let's quickly talk about specs, and then we'll get into the visual properties of these lenses. So the Sirui Sniper lenses come in X mount, E mount, and Z mount, and I love the fact that we have the contacts on the back that will talk to your camera, be able to do all the awesome autofocus, all the live tracking, facial tracking, animal tracking that you can do on the awesome Z cameras, the Z6 III, the Z8, everything else that you can do with the Z cameras, now you can do with these autofocus lenses, and they are fast, they are sharp, they are snappy. Also, they come in black, white, and silver. I really dig this kind of carbon fiber exterior on the black series, so these ones are my personal favorite. These lenses have an aperture range of f1.2 to f16, and all of these lenses have a similar weight, roughly 400 to 500 grams, and that makes things much easier if you're filmmaking with a gimbal. You don't have to keep readjusting things every time you want to switch focal lengths. So let's talk about the photo and the video quality of each of these lenses. We're going to start with the 16mm. Now, I call this the establishing shot lens. It is nice and wide, and it is something we needed in the Sniper series. The 16mm, let's remember, has that APS-C format, which means there is a little bit of a crop, so the 16 is actually roughly a 24mm focal length. Still fantastic, still awesome to have a 24mm at f1.2, allowing you to get those very wide establishing shots, or if you want to do something funky, you can get in, get close, get that very shallow depth of field, and then get a nice tight shot, because this has a minimum focusing distance of 0.3 meters, so you can get pretty darn close, throw that whole background out of focus if you want to, and get a really cool shot. Or again, use this for an establishing shot for your storytelling, whether that is photo or video. It's always important to have that establishing shot. Show your audience what is the setting for all of these other photos that I'm going to be seeing. So lastly, for tech specs on the 13mm Sirui Sniper lens, it weighs about 403 grams, has 13 aperture blades, and this guy has a minimum focusing distance 0.3 meters and has a 58mm filter thread on the front. Next we have the 75mm f1.2. Look at this monstrous piece of glass on the front of this lens. This lens just sucks light in. Again, we have that APS-C crop, which makes this the equivalent of a 113. One of my favorite lenses of all time is a 135 prime, and this is right in that sweet spot, especially at f1.2. The shallow bokeh obliterates your entire background and really has your audience focusing on exactly what you want to show them. So when it comes to that visual storytelling, you can get some really nice tight shots. You can get a real close tight shot of somebody's eyes. You can step back a little bit and get some creamy background behind someone and still get a full frame shot. There's just so much that you can do with this lens. Again, 113mm equivalent throws you even tighter than an 85mm. And again, 1.2, you get that razor thin depth of field, or you can stop your aperture down if you want to. This is a very, very sharp lens, even at 1.2. Between both of these lenses, I didn't notice any sort of terrible chromatic aberration or any sort of vignetting. It's important to know that these are tack sharp edge to edge from all the testing that I've done, and that is fantastic, especially with such a shallow depth of field and wide open aperture. The 75mm lens has 15 aperture blades, a 67mm filter thread size, and weighs 475 grams. Again, that's awesome when you're switching lenses quickly between a gimbal and you don't have a ton of time to completely rebalance your gimbal between every shot. So as I stated earlier, these were a great addition that Sirui provided to the Sniper series. We really needed that wide angle lens for establishing shots. That's great for doing real estate photography, for doing narrative filmmaking, and any sort of visual storytelling that you can think of where we need to establish our location. The 23mm wasn't quite wide enough for that. And then I love that we added this 75mm, especially for portraits, the super tight shots, shots of someone's hands doing something, their eyes, anything that you can think of. This 75 really nails it. The autofocus is snappy. It allows us to do everything we can do with our Z series lenses. Again, this is the Z mount, and I'm shooting on the Nikon Z6 with all of these. So when the Z6 III drops pretty soon here, we're gonna have all of those autofocus features. We're gonna have 6K coming out of these, and that's gonna look so good. I'm sure these would look fantastic on my Nikon Z8. Review coming soon. But these lenses are a compact little cine set, and that ability to have autofocus in these is just that extra little something, and you can easily pick up 2, 3, 4 of these lenses without completely killing the bank. So would I recommend the Sirui Snipers? Absolutely. You may not need every single lens in the 5 series set, but I would highly recommend getting the 16 and the 75, and then grab one out of the original series, either the 33 or the 56, and you could have a great lens trifecta for those nice wide shots, those slightly tighter medium shots, and then those super tight 75mm shots, and you have yourself a great series. Or get them all and have some great prime lens versatility. Now these lenses, again, do shine in low light, just like Sirui's Nightwalker series. I can now shoot footage at f1.2 on my Nightwalkers on my Panasonic Lumix GH6, and then I can get some pretty close matching footage on my Z6 with the Sniper series, also 1.2. They pair up really well, and the fact that we have this autofocus on these lenses, again, just fantastic, just a pro to these lenses, and there's no real cons to these lenses other than maybe the fact that their focal lengths are very close, so sometimes it is hard to choose a lens. And I think if having a plethora of options and focal lengths available to you in this Sirui Sniper set, if that's the only con, I think these lenses are doing pretty good, and I would highly recommend them, especially if you like to do run and gun photography and filmmaking like I do, and lighting isn't always available. I do have some great lights here, but again, sometimes we just have to run and gun doing documentary work, and using that available light, that f1.2, really comes in handy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, be sure to give it a like down below. Hit that subscribe button, because only about 3% of the people that watch all of my videos are actually subscribed to the channel. So for more run and gun photography tips, tricks, hacks, and of course gear reviews, be sure to subscribe. That's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, get out and go shoot.